Well, we are going to call the October 15th, 2024 meeting of the Northumberland County Economic Development Commission to order at 6 o'clock. Melissa will probably get here, so we have everyone. Is that Melissa?
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. All right, the agenda does anyone have any adjustments that they would like to make to the agenda, or can we approve it as presented?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done. All right, the meeting notes from the last meeting were sent out. Does anyone have any edits or changes that need to be made?
Move to approve as written.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner's Corner. I will start. I found out what that building is, right? So there's been a sign, so on, what's Remo Road? I told you that barn would be built. It's actually like a mulch kind of place. So now there's a whole bunch of dead trees getting delivered and they're mulching stuff up.
Oh, wow.
So we have a new business in the county. I don't know what they're, like if it's a retail market, if it's wholesale, if it's for businesses. I'm not sure on the model yet. It doesn't look like it's retail right now.
It probably is because they just had their permit go before the board of supervisors.
No, that was that one.
That was the other one?
That's the other one. So
Oh, yeah.
So we have one new business now or in Wycomico Church already. We're gonna have another one across from Newsom's.
Newton's Body Shop, yeah.
Yeah, that's getting approved.
What's going on there? That's a good one.
Brandon Wilkins, you know Brandon Wilkins, he's gonna be, having like mulch stone, stuff like that to have on inventory for when he's doing his jobs
Oh.
and possibly.
Oh, was that little wooded, what is it, like acre and a half that was up for sale earlier?
I don't
Directly
know.
across from Hayes.
No.
No, this is in come stage, like, we turn on to Forest Landing Road.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you turn off the 360
Okay.
on Forest Landing, right, that little piece on is out there.
Okay.
That was the permit one. So that's
So that's two.
two businesses, right?
Good.
And again, we haven't had to change anything necessarily in the county so far. So that's good news. And then the permit got approved, not in my district, but in yours for the apartment. So,
Good.
but I did want to let you guys know that I finally found out what was, what that was that was going up there. And that's all I have for my District 4. I have other stuff, but that can go later on in the meeting.
I don't have anything unique to District 5, other than Robert sent me a notification regarding a grant.
Okay, that one we'll do under new business.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'm done.
okay.
Amazingly, nothing to report in District 1.
So you got your new apartment complex, a new apartment thing approved. Okay,
I'm really happy to see that. I think that's going to be good. We need housing.
great. So look, we've got housing, we've got business coming out.
Do you want to do the job fair?
That's
under
later
current
on.
projects?
Yep, that's on, yep.
The only other thing that I have, Jim Michelle gave this to me, and it may work out for something that we may want to do in the future. It's a special edition from the Rappahannock
Yeah.
Record that talked about, I guess it came out
It was last month.
last month, about heritage, ways of life. And I thought it might be interesting to hang on to this, pound net fishing, watermen, dairy houses, silos, the things that were traditional to this area, traditional ways of making a living and having a life. It might be an interesting thing just to hang on to potentially fold into our spring fling, with the kids. You know, maybe you don't want to be a vet, maybe you want to have a herd of cows. Several years ago, I was talking with someone and apparently there was only one dairy farmer left in the Northern Neck.
Mm.
And his kids went to college and left after 2 years and wanted to go back to the farm. But I think that's really the exception. But it might be a way of interesting the kids to go to some of these traditional heritage type ways of life.
And Tiffany Yachts.
Tiffany Yachts said, yeah, boat building.
Thank you. Hey. All right, executive director items.
So a few items, we finally have a meeting with the Civil War Trails in Howland Church. It's scheduled for Sunday, November 3rd, after the church services. Reminder, that's because Civil War Trails is trying to set up a signage there. It's a very famously known facility. We're trying to see if it'll help promote tourism. There's like the upfront fee for maintenance and installation is going to be funded by the Northern Neck Planning District Commission through Lisa Hull. There's a maintenance fee, and I'm trying to work and see if they could pick that up as well too. But more to follow. I believe Miss Melissa will attend that meeting with myself as well. We have the career exposition notices posted on the county and the EDC website. Copies were and the brochures. Copies were provided to the Northumberland County Library and Department of Social Services. I've been distributing some kayak brochures throughout Kilmarnock, Montrose, getting some pretty good feedback from some of the businesses there too. A lot of them are saying we just are anxious to be able to support anything that happens within the county. So it's really good within that area. I want to confirm November Discovery. That's going to be our next November. This November meeting, we're going to have our discovery session back on. We're currently planning to do the oyster businesses again. I'll coordinate that with you unless there's any changes. I think I gave you a copy of the posting for what we have.
Mhm.
And then last point is I've been attending this meeting on Regional Resilience Equity Work Group, RREW. I'm fairly new to it. Back in 2019, 2020, it was called the Resilience Action Feasibility Tool Process. Basically, it's to help determine career needs within a region, how to create programs to support demand. We've had some analysts, we've had some doctors, analysts from Virginia Tech who are doing studies on employment issues around here and just getting demographic information. Hopefully, the intent will be to align what our wants are with what our needs are and see if there's potential to expand upon it. Again, Lisa Hull is one who's is directing that and running through that. On that note, there was it was brought up in the meeting that there's a new grant opportunity that's coming forward, and the purpose of the grant is to be able to support types of activities like a career expo. Timing is perfect. I'm going to be doing some more research about that to see what it says. But the grant's intended purpose is to be able to support activities like a career expo, where we'll have a planning phase first to see if the activities that we want to do is suitable enough for the grant to be awarded to us, and then the execution phase so we can carry out the actual expo. We'll know more in probably by the end of this week as I talk to Lisa. That's all I have for my corner.
Mr. Basie.
I'm not gonna say you stole my thunder because I was. And I say that,
forget you this time.
no. I say that because I had on my hit list the items that were covered in the Commissioner's Corners about the new businesses that were coming in and the approval of the cover for the new business in Kona Stage as well as for the apartment complex in Cali. I was making sure they didn't get omitted from our discussion. The ADB grant for the removal of those boats, those grants, the bids are due tomorrow, so we will be opening bids tomorrow to be able to move forward and keep that process moving to get the boat at Lodge. I write that the land in as well as the one at Bridge Creek, and then there's a sailboat on Great Account, just in from the mouth of the Bridge Creek. All three of those, I know we get out for bid, so.
Good.
What were those areas again?
Lodge Creek,
Bridge Creek,
Bridge Creek, and Great Account. That was all I had.
Thank you. All right, on to current projects. Now the grants.
So this grant's, I put slides together and then I thought better of it because this is a 2-minute shot. It's like a lot of other grants. This is God, I forget the acronym. Holy crap. It's administered through VDEP. But what it is they're looking to add inventory to the state's marketable real estate, as far as when businesses want to come into an area. So the state wants to have an inventory so that, everybody gets to play in this
An
pool.
inventory of what?
Real estate, properties for development or refurbishment, whatever the case may be, so that when businesses outside the state or even within the state are looking, they've got a resource to go to and say, oh, here's some potential locations that might be suitable for our business.
Hmm.
So, that sounds great, but there's like 5 steps to get from beginning to end. And the very first step, and this is the big red light, folks, you got to pay attention here. In order to even start, you have to have identified a property that you would apply for the grant for. And in order to do that, you have to have it, in this particular case, you have to have the property registered on a thing called Virginia Scan, which is basically how you would go in and you would manage all of the properties. The county would manage the properties that the county has available for business development.
So I'm sorry, I'm not grasping. What does available mean? The county owns it, the county, it's up for sale?
So
I'm not understanding why it's different
it's
than
not,
real estate
so
listing.
it's who controls it. There's two scenarios here. There's the county owns it, or the county has a property owner that's amenable to developing it for new businesses.
Hmm.
Kind of like Fred Silver thing in
Mhm.
Fredericksburg.
Mhm.
Anyhow, so there's 2 different scenarios that are suitable for this thing. So, but they need to be registered in Virginia Scan. Don't ask me what the scan stands for, because nobody's scanning anything. You have to get an account, go in, register the property, and that's just a gateway. You're not even where you're going to apply for a grant yet. But we haven't done any of that. We don't have any properties identified that the county owns or that somebody else owns and they want to make it available. That's an even deeper discussion.
Like a vacant commercial property.
Yeah, something laying fallow. So initially I get this thing and they're looking for 100-acre parcels or bigger, 50-acre parcels in 2 regions, 1 and 2, they're on the other end of the state, so we're not good for that. And then 25-acre parcels that are for cleanup. Think along the lines of super sites, only not quite the super. If you've got a site that's been fallow for a long time because it's been polluted
Mitigation.
for whatever reason, 25 acres on that particular class. I'm not aware of any that we have here in Northumberland County, so there's that. So we're in the 100-acre class. And we need to get the list of properties that the county owns to see if we even have a single property or adjoining properties that could total that. And then we have to identify what it might look like if it was groomed to be.
Didn't we just talk about this at the planning commission has a list of properties that the county owns?
Yes, that,
There were only 2 that were identified that they wanted to do anything with. And at last month's Board of Supervisors meeting, they just approved cleaning up. What's the name of that place we're gonna clean up so they can build a road?
down there by the county line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's, so
Yeah, no.
if this was the idea of the grant would be to mitigate the property or to help us put together a listing?
Kind of, sort of, yes, and more.
Yes.
There's
which
5
one?
steps. So it's not to mitigate a property, it's to get it prepared to be suitable for somebody to come in, look at it and go, yes, I would like to start on this property here and I can bring in this much money and I'll put these people to work. But,
But the county has to do all the work
The-
to identify any government properties that are owned, or we, EDC, would have to reach out to people to see if they wanted to sell their property. And then-
or maintain control of it, but still make it available.
Right, listed in there, right.
Right, so then basically, this is just a clearinghouse of available places that businesses could look at.
That's a way to look at it, yeah. That would be accurate.
And the grant is for prepping the property.
For prepping and other there's administrative and prep work. And there's a percentage of it that goes to the admin part and the prep part. But there's several steps that you gotta get to before you're actually ready for the state to say, oh, here, this is one of the properties.
What would be the advantage to the property owner?
I would defer questions like that to Fred Silver, because that's pretty much how he did it. He
I don't
owned
know
the
who
property
Fred
and he got the county to help him put it up.
Yeah.
Huh?
If
Okay.
someone wanted to sell their property and it was already listed, or they had someone that would list it for them, what is their advantage? What's the advantage to that property owner to cooperate in this?
Lease income.
I'm sorry?
Lease income.
So the grant, you're saying the grant material would
So,
help with the lease?
Yes. so you can have a private owner who wants to work with the county to get this thing up. He has more criteria to satisfy in order to get into Virginia Scan. But in the end, it's still available to him, and the advantage to him would be that anybody that comes in would likely be signing a lease with him for the land.
So this goes to one of the things we had on our action list. Which was to develop a profile for the county that we could hand out to businesses. And I can't remember what we called it, but in our list of things that we were going to do in the 24-25 year was develop a information packet on the county.
Mm-hmm.
So we had talked about this when the gentleman came, that owns Lucetta, but with the McDonald's. I'm not sure, and you guys push back on this, I think we're getting the carts before the horse on this one, if we went for this grant.
We're not in a position to go for it, that's my point.
Yeah, we
We're
don't
not.
know, we haven't started yet, we don't have any profile of the county that could attract people yet.
Right.
And Robert, this gets to the conversation I wanted to have with you about what Gloucester and Lancaster and Warsaw are doing. So, that's cool, thank you, Maurice, I know you're developing a list of the different grants that might be something that we could look at, maybe if not now, but in the future. And maybe that's something, I think, once we get a little bit more together on.
Yeah, so ultimately, what you're talking about, we get a profile going, we have a known inventory of potential properties, because this is just one grant. There's other grants out there that have different criteria as far as lot size or property size, and so there's a lot of things going on. But if we ourselves don't have an inventory of what we've got going on, Planning Commission, they're doing a great job, but their perspective isn't the same as ours.
Yeah, but we don't need a list if they've got one.
We need to evaluate the list for suitability for businesses.
I don't know how to do that. Does anyone know how to do that?
I've never done it, but I'd be happy to try.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't, the county, I thought that list that Stuart put together was just of county properties.
It
And
is county-owned
the
property.
goal of that list was what would the county be willing to part with?
Right. and
Okay,
we have
so the
not
goal
made
you're
it up.
talking about is, if the county's not willing to part with it, what would they be willing to develop?
Or maybe there's something that would be developable, that could be developed instead of liquidating property.
Yeah, because I don't think we're looking at anything. Yeah, if you want to get with Stuart and see, Alec, I'm
Yes.
sorry, John's not here. But if that list could function as two things, yeah, I haven't a clue about how to go about saying what's developable. I don't have that expertise at all.
Just point of curiosity, how many properties to ballpark does the county have?
I'd have to go back through the meeting
Yeah,
notes.
So is it a lot,
I don't
is it substantial?
They had quite a few that, I don't know, I'd have to go back through the meeting notes.
Hmm.
I don't know off the top of my head.
The parcels here and there, like we're at tower sites and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Is there, I'm just curious, is there an established policy as to what they do, to liquidate these properties, or do they just?
That's what the planning commission's working on.
This, yeah, that work.
That's exactly what they're working on.
Okay.
They have, and so, based on the last board of supervisors meeting, Luttrell said that was gonna be something that they were gonna talk about in their next meeting. I think it might have been a closed action. I don't know what's on that list. But that was the list board of supervisors asked for. And Stuart said that, or Luttrell said it was gonna be for discussion in their next meeting. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
Seemed like it'd be important for the county to get rid of those things so they can generate some tax revenue, because I'm sure they're, if they're county-owned property, the county's not paying tax.
That's why they looked at it, but some of them, like the two I remember, like don't have road access and And there's like.
Yeah, there's some
stuff,
really
so-
awkward properties.
So I'm not sure what the planning, like where they're at in that. I think they've done all the assessment now. They're gonna help me.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
my-
remember the total number, but I was at the meeting, the last meeting that they were doing that stuff, and there's some of those properties that are just landlocked. Just terrible.
All right, cool. So thank you for that summary. Thank you for doing that work, Maurice. Thank you. All right, so that's grants. Before we go to the Career Expo, any other current projects that anyone has? Okay, all right, now on to the expo. So we're all, hello, darling. We're all set for November 2nd. We've got a list of things that we're scratching off, and thanks to Melissa for getting us a great flyer. So we've got the flyer. If everyone can take one copy and put it in your local post office, that's cool. Robert already has a copy at the library. He's gonna put up a copy at Food Lion. Drew, if we can get one up at the county offices where people come in to pay their taxes, right? If we can get it put right there so people can see it. Lynn, I don't know how to do it at the dump because we don't have a big sign or anything. And I don't know like where we put it to get the attention. I know you'd mentioned that we probably could put something at the dump.
I just thought of it because, that's where the prison is advertising for guards.
Right.
Right, but they've got that big sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could check with Jessica Guy Haney and see how much a sign would cost, but
We don't have
there's not enough time to
We don't
mess
have
with
time,
it,
not enough
so.
money. So it's gonna be any businesses that you're going into, right? So we're gonna do Food Lion, so we've got the grocery store, we've got the library, we've got the county office. If everybody can put it in the post office that's in their corner neck of the woods. So people will get information that way. We're getting it, we sent the press release out to the Rappahannock Record and the radio station, so hopefully we'll get it announced there. The school is putting it, Dr. Burns said he was gonna put it in the newsletter that goes out to the parents. They were gonna post it on their website, post it on the EDC website. So and the Department of Social Services is gonna put it on their Facebook, I guess they have a Facebook page, is that right? And send it out to their slew of folks, churches, I mean, any place that you go, drop a flyer.
Yeah, I did 4 churches.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna, I may even post some in Kilmarnock, don't listen, Drew. The employers are Northumberland, but we've got people that, go into Kilmarnock for stuff, and it doesn't hurt to put information there, because I don't care if they come across Title Lines to work here, because if it's gonna make our employers bigger, great. Right now, it's just it's only the employers we've invited. So I know from my list, Indian Creek Yacht's coming. Tiffany, Yacht Country Club, excuse me. Tiffany Yachts is coming. Lily and Lumber wasn't sure if they were gonna make it or not. I haven't hit up, I keep getting Horns Harbor when it's not open. So I have to get to them. And we've got gift certificates. So we've got gift certificates from 2 businesses in Lotsburg, right, Lynn? Or Kelly or Lotsburg.
Allison's and, Bonds.
Yeah, so we've got those gift certificates. I picked up, a gift certificate over in Burgess area, and I'm gonna hit up a couple more. I'm gonna bring a little pot, like one of those percolator things of coffee, so we're gonna have coffee there. I'm gonna go to Food Lion and see about getting some, I don't know, danishes or fruit or something in the morning. I ordered some coloring books and crayons, little tiny packs of 4, so if people come with their kids, they'll be set up. I'm picking up some tablecloths that are gold and green, so they match the colors of the school. The school's gonna have all the tables for us. I'm gonna go over there. I have to talk to Travis to find out exactly when we're gonna set up the room, but it's gonna be that Friday, so it'll be the 1st. Yeah, it'll be All Saints Day. So I'll find out when it is, and I'll let you guys know if anyone's available. I don't know how long it'll take to set up, depends how many people we have. And he's got the sheriff's office and EMS team. We've got the school coming, we've got the library coming. What other businesses? Abilities Abound, I think, was coming. Who else? Maurice, do we have Omega?
Not that I'm aware of. I'll have to call.
Did you guys hear anything back from Dollar Tree too? Because they seem really excited about having some out there.
I'll have to check the email, but I have not seen anything,
So who
but that'd
from,
be normal. So.
yeah, so your district, yeah, who from your district is coming?
Nobody that I'm aware of.
What did they say when you contacted them?
I haven't.
Oh, okay, never mind.
With Omega, do we need to send a flyer to HR or Monty?
That would be a good idea.
Okay, because I have
But I
their,
still need to make a phone call.
Yeah, I would, give them a call, please, as soon as you can, because I know they were eager, when we were at their tour site, they were eager to come. You had a couple people, I think, in your area that were, yeah, Omega and Ocean Harvesters, if they could come, that would be, because they're pretty big employer in the county. Dan, you said you've got Dollar Tree, you've got Abilities Abound.
Yeah, those were the only two, because I met with everybody, that was person to person.
Yeah, I went in too and talked to everybody.
So, I mean, they all seemed excited about it, thought it was a great idea, but,
I mean, they'll come in when they come in.
Yeah, yeah,
That's one of the things.
Yeah.
Indian Creek was real happy because they haven't done a lot in Northumberland County. A
Yeah.
lot of their stuff has been in Lancaster County with Kilmarnock. Tiffany's, when they were super excited about the expo in the spring to talk about like demonstrations and stuff, and the grant about getting some of their people paid. So, all right, Melissa, who do you have? You've got, no, you're not, your Abilities Bound. Who, you've
No,
got?
I just know.
no,
but
Billy's
the,
bouncing Kelly.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nowhere, so I.
Yeah.
can't say, but no, I don't think I have a business in my area.
No, let's look, because
We need to fix that.
the shared drive has a list of, and maybe I assigned them wrong. There was, one of the documents I sent out was a spreadsheet that had the top 25 businesses separated into everybody's district. Do I have anything in there for Melissa, or did she not have anything in her area?
I could look, give you one.
Could you real quick?
How many are we I thought it was a limited amount.
It is.
Okay.
I only did the top 25, and
Okay.
each of us had like 4 or 5.
Okay,
Because if everybody came, we wouldn't have enough,
right.
probably room. So I don't know, and then depending on like if Omega and Ocean both come, that's 2 just for one hit. Who did then,
Bonfire, probably won't be there because he doesn't have any help.
okay,
I
So
said,
that would be a reason to come.
well, he doesn't have anybody to come.
Okay.
He'd have to shut down the shop.
he would have to shut down the
Yeah.
shop, almost literally. This past week, he had to shut down the shop. There wasn't anybody to run the shop because he
Wow.
was doing other stuff.
You had listed down Little River Seafood and Food Line, but you have Melissa question.
But yeah, food, is that your district? Little River Seafood, it's down
In
over,
Burgess,
yeah, is that one yours?
yeah.
Okay, if you can't get over, let me know and I'll.
No.
Because they're only open, I think, on Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, then I'll just go this week.
That's the one that they're only, yeah, because they do mostly wholesale.
And I can go to, Food Line Manager when I leave here.
Okay.
Well, I gotta go there when I need to go to grocery store.
Okay, well, there you go. So your two will be done.
Okay, so Bond probably won't be there, but they were excited about the idea. Allison's, I got sort of a mixed review on. Cowart was writing notes like crazy and even wrote the name of who he was gonna have to contact Bob. Did he contact you?
I haven't seen the email, but it's been a few days.
All right, I'll swing back by there, cause I went early last week, so.
We told everybody by the 18th, but we can slip that a little bit. Right, we had wanted, just so we could make sure if they needed like electricity or computer, or it was basically for the tables, but we can slip it to the 25th. So if anybody like comes in later, we're fine, I think.
Just as an FYI, Cowart is looking for somebody to work in the nursery where they grow the spat. They don't have to have a college degree. They said they make a very good living. It's a hard job because when it's the busy season, they work 12 days in a row
Good God.
and then have 2 days off.
Yeah.
But they will do on-the-job training. And he said, Lynn, it's more than a living wage. It's more than they can make pretty much anywhere else around
Well,
here.
hopefully
And that's growing the spats, the little teeny tiny.
In the
oysters.
nursery, yeah.
Wow.
I guess their algae guy left. They have a guy that just grows algae to feed the baby oysters. So there are women, there's a woman that I know that works there that has a degree in marine biology, but you don't need a degree to work there. And they're really having a hard time filling that
Well,
position.
hopefully they'll come then.
I'm sorry?
Hopefully they'll come. I mean, I know it's for us to tell people too, but I'm hoping that.
Right. So, those are the ones that I sat down with in person on the way over here tonight. I said to myself, I should go to, the BP station. They're always looking for help.
So wait,
Yeah.
before you do that, because.
We'll wait until you get your
Right,
list done.
that's why I
Okay,
wanna make sure
okay.
everybody contacts, so who
Okay.
else is on Maurice's list? Because if we end up with everybody 100%, then
Right.
that's gonna be 20 to 25 tables, and that's about it for that room.
Okay.
Maurice, I have Omega Protein, Purcell's Seafood, Reedville Market, Los Portales. That's in Spanish.
That's in my district. Cool.
There's also one in Burgess.
Yeah, and that's all I, underneath Maurice, there's a couple rows that are Northumberland DSS, RR Beasley, Wingspan Hospitality. and
Yeah,
Family
Northumberland DSS, don't worry about, those are ones that didn't have an assignment because they're either gonna be taken care of or I wasn't sure. So it looks like we're gonna have some openings, because like Dan, not all your people have gotten in, so we'll wait and see what happens on Friday, right? Everyone originally gets back to us, and all I did, like probably you, I just took the one piece of paper, the short one that had the name on it and all the details, and I just walked in, and it was a great way to meet people.
May I ask or mention to the group, if you could please go into the spreadsheet and on the far right columns, there's a column that says contacted and attending. And if you could please, I got some written down, but if you could put in there yes or no, wire in, it'll do an automatic count for us. So we know, right now we have two businesses who affirmatively.
Right, and the rest of them, I think I put mine as contacted.
I put
Yes.
mine at the bottom of the
Yeah,
spreadsheet.
we can fix yours.
Gotcha.
So that way we know who to kind of hit up, and then once we get through that list, then it's fair game. Plus, I don't know if employers are gonna start to, when they start, the ad starts running, if they're gonna wanna like participate. But this one's just for Northumberland County employers, which is why the invite is more important. For people who wanna work here, it's everybody, but for this particular small boutique career expo.
And Bobby, we didn't hear back from Carry On Trailers, because when I met with him, they seemed really excited about it.
I did not.
Huh.
I have to scrub through my emails again, but, yeah, I heard immediately back from,
Abilities Bound.
Abilities Bound.
Yeah, they seem very interested when I met with them.
Usually found-
And I'll tell you that I'm shocked about the Dollar Tree organization, because I spoke to the general manager, and she was crying the blues about not being able to find people, and that this was really exciting, so.
Beasley Concrete's in your district too, correct? Did they have any?
I wouldn't have signed to do it, so I did two extra ones, but if you need me to go through, I'll be happy
I
to.
just saw that.
I didn't know where they were,
You
yeah,
want me to swing by there? Yeah,
yeah. I think
I'll do it
it's
tomorrow.
there.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna swing by one business tomorrow probably to get a gift certificate, and I'm gonna invite them, it's a restaurant, I think they're covered with people, but I still want to.
What about, well, I have to be there in the morning for cleaning, Dr. Fina's office?
If they wanna come, because I think we're at the point now where we've got enough that aren't on the 25,
Okay,
right? So if they wanna come, that's great, they'd be great for the spring too, when we do the demonstration.
okay.
Yeah, Tiffany Yachts was super excited about that. So, and again, it's a small event, we've never done this before, so
cutting her teeth.
cutting our teeth.
Well, you gotta call before you walk, and once we.
That's what I look
Yeah,
at.
just.
Jacob, the Bay Workforce Development Consortium group blasted it out to the different groups that they work with, to say, look, if people are looking for a job, have them come. Which is why, we want to make sure we've got, the raffle is kind of to keep people there, and then, the coffee and the coloring books, just in case folks are there. And again, this is a no budget, everything we have is donated, so there's no funding for this. So if people in the county are looking for a whole bunch of other stuff, it's not gonna be there. And then again, we can learn from it to see, like for mentors and, resume help and stuff in the future, what we can have.
So when you decide that we're gonna close this out, I would start another sheet so we could reach out to them and say, what are your requirements? Do you need electrical?
Right, they should have said that when they came in, but if they didn't, we do need to follow up with them on
Yeah.
that. And I also have to find out from Travis who's confirmed. I know the school is coming, right, and I don't know that they're a yes on there. The library is coming, for sure, and I can't remember if I put them as a yes on there. He was contacting, the sheriff and Chief Balderson, and I don't know if they were yeses, I think they were. So if that's there, we've got the public service side. I don't know if the county is planning on coming, I don't think you have any.
No, they didn't come.
Yeah. So that's 4, and then we've got,
Library's a yes, he said.
the library's a yes, and she's gonna donate some books for, the raffle, for kids for the raffle. So I assume, Maurice, we're gonna get at least 2 out of your district, if not 3. Lynn has 2 out of hers. Dan, you said you had 1 or 2. I've got 2 already, the list is.
Right now,
Although Tiffany hasn't come back yet, but they told me they'd come, so I'll make sure they. So that's what, 12? Yeah, so we're,
You got room for how many?
25. That's why I want to make sure every village is represented.
I'm thinking out loud here. I think it might be a smart idea for me to revisit the ones that gave a good response. You know, the Dollar Tree, and say, hey, just want to make sure that you know, don't forget about this, because I guess what I'm assuming based on what the general manager said to me, she said that I guess their corporate chain, they had to kick it up the corporate chain to get approval for it. So I just hope it wasn't lost, because I was really hoping, you know, because she was really singing blues out, they don't have anybody to work.
Well, I mean, I visited Indian Creek and I spoke personally with him and it took him, he just got back to you today, right? So that was like a week or so for him to get back, which is fine. It's not like a rush. Everyone else is doing other things. They probably just have to make sure they have somebody that can be there on Saturday. I mean, that's probably part of it. So Friday night, we will be doing setup. You were giggling about something.
I was yawning and Robert.
I caught you.
So, and don't feel obligated to be there Friday night for the setup. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I'm gonna have all the stuff in my car for the tablecloths and everything like that. And if we only have 10 tables to set up, you know, Robert, you and I could probably do that together. And then businesses come in Saturday morning at 8 and then the people will start coming in at 9. The one thing I'm not sure about, do we have any signs? So all I wanna do is put like a stake with something on it that says like park here, because it's at the J. Rotzi building, which is behind the school. And so if people go to the school, I don't want them going to like where the auditorium is because it won't be there. So I don't know, do we have any signs that the county already has that we can just?
They may have those at school, you might want to check.
Yeah, I checked, I'll ask him again, but I don't.
Chairman, I think I have some signs that are just arrows.
Yes,
And they writing.
that would be
I think there are
fine.
like 4 of them.
Okay,
I'll snag them.
yeah, snag, because if we have the arrows, then,
They're on stakes.
that's great, because then it would just be pushing people in that direction. I could probably print a couple bigger copies of the poster and they would see it and go through.
Comes from the school and then just put it.
Yeah, that part I think they'll take care of. So, okay, what else do you guys think? So if everybody's got, so hold off on, I guess, maybe any more invites until Marisa, you're done. We've got to get, because I don't wanna have you go out and then not have room for those people. So by Friday, we should have, to everyone we've already reached out to so far, including your people you're gonna reach out to this week.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Then, we'll know by Monday how many open spaces we have and we'll be able to reach out some more. Does that sound okay, or are we missing something? And
This is
then,
gonna be the first one. There'll be lots of lessons learned, I'm sure.
well, let me,
To that point, and I know we're looking at all the front end stuff, but on a post-op scenario, are we having any kind of survey they can do online or on paper? What they liked, what they didn't like, and give us feedback. So if we can get some positive feedback, we can blast that out. Hey, Tom, this is a great event. Or if we get some feedback, you need to do this, we know how to adjust.
That's a good idea.
I was just gonna talk to people at the event. I mean, we can do a survey.
If you can get some positive feedback and be able to use it.
Yeah, I was just gonna,
That's kind of where I was looking at it on that side.
yeah, I'm fine with that. I was just gonna be a chatty Cathy and talk people up.
That's fine. Either way, I mean, just make sure we're addressing that side of it.
I could draft up for them to fill out before they leave while they're there and say,
Okay.
what went well, what did well.
What would you like to see done different? Because the next time, and when I've been visiting people, I've been telling them the next one's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be more of a demo and talk about, keeping people in the county. So this one is really, the first one, but we're planning to do more. And that seems to
Good test bed.
get people excited too. And then I've also been talking up about the grants that people can have. And so that's why we gotta have that information the day of, so we can get them to come to the January event. And what we're gonna do, the Virginia, what's the top stand for? The opportunity folks that we had come talk to us about increasing employment in the area.
That group early on.
Yeah, early on. We've connected now with the lady who works at University of Mary Washington and does the training for the grant program. Remember they talked about a grant that people can get to pay for interns? So they pay the salary basically for the intern, so the business doesn't have to. There's a 2-hour training session that you have to go to in order to be eligible to qualify to apply for the grant. So when I talked with her, I told her we would have her here in January. It looks like we're probably gonna do it the last week in January. We'll probably do it 1 to 3 in the afternoon. for some businesses, I'll have coffee, whatever, and then that way, it's kind of it's a meet and greet, but she can come talk about the program, but when they're done, they then have attended the training, and that way they can qualify for getting the grant, should they identify some people. I already had a couple businesses say they'd be interested in something like that. January is usually a slower time, so if we do it in the afternoon, we can still get the, watermen that go out for the oysters in the morning, and then I want to be able to have that information to share at the November 2nd event, so we can bring those folks back in January.
Did we have any of the farmers on our list?
Again, we only did the top 20. So I thought there was,
Because, a lot of times they have a lot of, employees as well.
I don't know if any of them hit the top 20 or 25.
Okay.
Spreadsheet there.
But that doesn't mean, like, I'm not saying we're not gonna find them, we were just gonna start with that top 25.
That's fine,
Yeah,
that's fine, I was just,
and I don't
who has
remember,
a high,
Nothing
turnover.
jumping at me.
mostly it was water, I think it was just aquaculture, I don't think it was any agriculture
Mm,
that hit the,
okay.
Some properties in Virginia.
Karen, does it make sense for us to attend that training so that we can talk to employers from a position of knowledge?
I'm gonna attend it because I'd like to see what
I'd
they say,
like
and I'd
to
like
do
to be
it.
able to, when we're out talking to businesses, I'd like to be
Right.
able to share it.
And that's through Department of Labor?
No, it's through,
Virginia Talent and Opportunities.
right, it's a consortium of the chamber, the Department of Labor, the state.
Yeah, I knew Department of Labor had to be in there sometime.
They are, and there's
Okay,
also universities, it's like a group, and so the money, I think, comes from,
Department of Labor,
yeah.
okay.
So that's January.
Right now, we're working with her to settle on a date, it's gonna be the
Okay.
last week in January, but we're not 100% sure. 29th, 31st, somewhere in there. Okay, so I think we've beaten that one, right, for the job fair, for Expo.
I have one more thing to say, that's sort of old business. I spoke with, the guy that I know, Dean Sumner, who owns the golf courses, and he's ready to help in whatever way he can with the, junior golf tournament.
Oh, great.
I didn't want to forget to say that when I was getting ready to, so.
Maurice, you had mentioned when the Indian Creek Yacht Club folks were here, you'd mentioned that you have a guide to the county.
I wouldn't call it a guide, but it's a list of things to do. My wife put it together a number of years ago. It's still valid.
Can you share that?
Sure.
Because what I'd like to do, and I can't remember, I think they said they had a January date. They were gonna send out, they were willing to, when they sent out the invitation and did the publicity for their event, they were willing to include, something like that.
Yep.
So Robert, I think we need to figure out how to get our each stay due map on there, and then what our QR code does for our advertisement. We need to see if we can get that in there, if it's still a valid QR code for us to use.
Yep, it is.
Okay, so if you can send that over, Maurice, then Robert, we can figure out how to create something that can be used when they send out their announcements for people that want to come to the golf event. Thank you, Lynn, for that.
Yeah, this should only be considered a starting point, I would imagine.
Right, it probably needs to be updated, yeah. I
Lynn,
agree.
who was that you spoke with?
Dean Sumner,
Dean Solner?
Dean
SUN.
Sumner, SUNNER.
Sorry.
Right. Anything else on current projects?
It's SU, not SO, correct? Yeah.
I'm sorry,
It's SUM or SO?
SUN.
I thought that was, I know Dean too, and I thought that's what.
It's a good thing you're a good secretary.
Except he's the secretary. Oh, yeah, Dan is. So,
So we can.
Melissa-
Such facto.
Do you have anything on that, we've got Habitat for Humanity here, is there anything new that we need to be doing on that front?
No,
Okay.
I've been just, focusing on this, and I'll be there Friday night as well.
Okay. Okay, all right, new business. Done. Citizen engagement. Hello.
Right, yeah,
Okay,
I think I told you when, the last meeting I was at, which was your August meeting, that, we were going to finish up our Bill 22, which is off of Indian Valley Road down here. in mid-October, which we did. We had a certificate of occupancy. And the only thing that's slowed the family down moving in is that the mother, single mother, head of the household, had a medical emergency and surgery and so on. So that's, we hope she'll recover soon because we're cutting the grass. So that is complete. And we've applied for a community impact grant with VHA to study the whole issue of workforce housing and how we might transition our focus from one house a year volunteer labor to multiple houses contractor labor.
Well, congratulations on getting the house done and our prayers for the
Well,
MDD.
we do one a year.
But
That's,
you've got your grant, you're gonna apply for the grant, so.
yeah. One per year is about what the volunteer, the local volunteer force will support. But we've got the site for number 23, which is going to be in Weems. And essentially it's paid for at this point. We don't start a project unless we have 100% of the money to finish it. So move along. And then, like I said, trying to figure out how we can positively impact more people.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
And as a data point for you, by the way, Indian Creek had 4 H-1B visa employees, Central Americans, Hondurans or Guatemalans, working with the superintendent. Very good experience. The problem that Indian Creek has always had with the seasonal employees is essentially you have to hire 6 to have 4 who will, show up on any given day. And, but these guys, they came ready to work and they show up and it doesn't make any difference if it's 100 degrees, they're out there doing their thing.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's been so successful that they're looking at expanding it to other areas of the club for next year.
It's a really good point. I've hired folks from that part of the world a number of times, and
Okay,
the level of effort and choreography, it's just amazing.
well, hopefully we can get some more local
Skills.
folks. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right, anything else for the general good order? If not, get out of here, really? All right, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Now I have a question.
All right, discussion on the motion to adjourn.
I just want to get clarity, that was Omega and the ocean.
It was on the list, I don't
It's not
remember.
on the list.
I don't remember what was on the
It's the
list.
same, I mean, it's.
Oh, it's one's the oil and one's the fish.
Yeah,
Got it.
one's the boats, one's on land, one's.
And then whoever else was on the list.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay,
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, that's right.
okay, so we had a motion and a second, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned at 6:47.